Hey everybody, it's Patricia. So we are just doing a little no makeup thing today because we're talking about a serious topic. I just threw some lipstick on to look halfway decent while I'm talking to y'all. But I wanted to talk to you guys about colonoscopies. So this is going to be my little PSA to say y'all need to go get checked. You know who you are. It's going to be okay. I've gone through this twice, and the second time, which was a few days ago, Monday, the second time was a little different from the first. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the steps, the prep, y'all, the prep. We're going to walk through every step that you need to do before the colonoscopy and what happens at the colonoscopy. So if you are interested, as you should be, keep on watching. Okay guys, so first of all, I want to say, please like this video. Like it for yourself, like it for your friends, your family. You know, I don't have to come on here and just tell y'all all my down and dirty business, but I'm trying to do so as a PSA to let you know, because so many people that I've talked to, either they don't want to talk about it, or when they do finally talk about it, they're scared, they don't know what to expect, they heard something, they're going off of that. So I was like, you know what, we just gonna share and tell y'all exactly what's up. So I'm giving y'all all the tea. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you guys might know, and maybe you don't, you need to start getting colonoscopies as part of your healthcare routine at a certain age. Now, I'm not gonna pinpoint which age it is because a lot of things depend on that. I got my first one about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was around the time that I, being a person in good health, knock on wood, it was that time where I should start getting them. Like I said, if you have underlying health conditions, family members that where cancer is prevalent, things like that, then you need to start going earlier, and your healthcare provider would be the person to tell you, hey, you need to start going and getting checked. So I had my first one, like I said, it was about 6 or 7 years ago. I was supposed to go again for the second one before I just did, but COVID happened, so you know what happened with that. And then after that, I think I was supposed to go last year, and things were happening. You guys know my mother-in-law passed end of the year, so there were a lot of things going on with that. My husband was not home like a lot of the time. In the last year, my mother-in-law was in Alabama. So as you know, and maybe you don't, you need a ride when you get your colonoscopy, because they're putting you under general anesthesia. You are going to be put out. So you need a ride there. That ride needs to make him or herself known to the people, because the rider has to sign something as well to say, yes, I am the rider, I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna take her home, you know, after this procedure. So and also with the colonoscopy, just like even with breast exams, it's something that has to be done, and sometimes you have to book way in advance. I was able to get in on Monday. Today is Thursday. So just to give you a little bit of background of where we're at coming out of the procedure. So let us get started. We just gonna kick back and chat. So the first procedure I did, now let me just come out and say, the prep is worse than the procedure. Let me say that again. The prep is worse than the procedure. Okay, so let's get into the prep. Now, last time they have something called a split prep, where you start taking the preparation, then there's a gap, then you start taking it again. I believe I was on split prep before, because the last time I did it, I remember it went like way over into the night. It was like midnight, and I was still up. And I want to say I was drinking the prep then. And of course, after you drink the prep, you have to go to the bathroom. We're going to get into all the prep and everything, you know, what's entailed in the prep. But I remember being up like late, like early morning, like till maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, the early morning day of the procedure, and my procedure was at like 8:30 in the morning. Now granted, the place is about 15-18 minutes away from the house, so it wasn't like I had to go across town, but still it was an extremely late night. By the time I got to that appointment, I was totally exhausted. Okay, so for me, the scariest part of the appointment, and I know y'all are gonna be like, girl, what? But we tell the truth over here. I am not a fan of needles. I am a person where when you have to get the woman's appointment, where they take the multiple vials of blood, the checkup, I have to ask for a butterfly needle. Because if I don't, every time they change the vial to switch it out to get more blood, I can feel the needle moving in my arm. So by the time we're on like that third vial, I'm like literally like grabbing the seat like this and about to die. And by the fourth vial, I'm just about falling off of the chair. So keep that in mind. So I'm not a fan of an IV. So I'm like scared to death of the whole, you know, sticking the IV in the hand. They put it in the hand. Now let me show you my hands. You can see my veins. I have very prevalent veins. I've always had very prevalent veins. And yes, that was where the IV went, in that hand. But even in my 20s, my veins have always looked like this. And my brother is a paramedic, and he'd always be like, girl, you got the best veins ever. Like, you could see them a mile away. Even with that, I'm still like petrified of the whole IV thing. So anyway, I get there. Okay, so let's go back to the prep. So I did the split prep. Let's just go into the prep. So I will show you what I still have. Most of the prep here, except for the I was getting ready to say the Docalax, the Muralax. The prep consisted of, and I still have my information packet here, so I'm going to share that. The prep consisted of, and I'm going to give you the schedule. You know what? We'll wait till I get to the second part for the schedule. But the prep consisted of mixing Gatorade, which this is the Gatorade that I used. You can use any Gatorade as long as it is not red or purple in color. You cannot take in any foods or liquids that have either red, purple, or dark colors, because that can look like blood in your system when they go to do the procedure. So these happen to be on sale. They were buy two get one free at Publix, and I just went ahead and I got 2 of these. Now it takes 2 of these. I got 3 of these. It takes 2 of these for the prep. So you put 2 of these into a container, you put it in the refrigerator for it to cool, then you add the, I keep wanting to say Docalax as I'm looking at it, the Miralax. Now the Miralax is a whole entire bottle. Yep. And it is, I think it was like 8.3 ounces, I believe. Let me see. Do I have that sheet? I want to say it was 8.3, but it's the entire bottle of Miralax, y'all. The entire bottle. The 8.3 ounces, girl, I know it by heart, y'all. And these were these 2 of these is 56 ounces, which is what needs to be in this giant pitcher that of your choice. And you mix this up, you let it chill in the refrigerator with the whole entire bottle of Miralax. This is part of the prep. So this is the liquid part of the prep. So as I was saying, I drank the prep. There was like a gap the first time years ago. Then I did the second half of the prep. So also with the prep is Dulcolax. So I'm going to show you how tiny, just in case you've never taken Dulcolax. Look how tiny these are, y'all. Look how tiny this is. And you have to take 2 of them at a time. So there's a schedule of when you need to take this and when you need to drink the prep. Why? How can something this tiny be so freaking powerful? Look how tiny that is compared to my fingertip. Wow. Okay, so getting back to the first time. So the first time I had colonoscopy. So I did the split prep. I was up super late. I go to the doctor's office. My husband drives me. I'm absolutely exhausted. We get to the scariest part for me, and that's the IV. It went in the same hand, by the way, the first time too. I think they have a affinity for doing it in the right hand for whatever reason. So anyway, by the time she did the IV, because I remember looking off, and of course she preps you and tells you what she's about to do, and she was like, okay, big stick. So I'm like clenching myself, you know, to kind of brace for the impact. Clearly these people know what they're doing, because it was not bad at all. And I am a baby and afraid of needles. I was fine. So we get past that. Of course, you have to take off all your clothes except your, I think the bra was still on, and that was it. And if you wear socks, you can leave your socks on. You put a robe on, a hospital gown, leave it open in the back. Now this first time when I went, I remember when it was time for the procedure to get started, they used propofol, y'all know what I'm saying, to put you out. And you get the IV in the hand, and then they give you the little oxygen thing that they put around your ears, and then it sticks in your nostrils. So you're getting fresh air coming into your nostrils from that. And they said, you know, they tell you each step of the way what's getting ready to happen and everything. So they said, okay, we're going to administer the propofol, however you say it, y'all know. And they said, you'll feel it kind of going in. Now, it was a slight burning sensation. I knew exactly when it started going in, because it felt burning as it traveled up, and then it kind of stopped along here. And then I remember like this burst of oxygen going through the little thing that they stick inside your nose. And they said, we're going to count. We want you to count backwards from whatever the count was. I don't remember if it was 10, 15, whatever. But I think I counted like 4 numbers, and that was it. And I was gone. Okay, procedure's over. I wake up. They've called my husband back into the room. I think I was already awake. And the nurse was like, okay, we're done, you know, everything was fine. They said we did find some polyps, and we removed them. So when they find polyps, then they have to test them to make sure that they're benign and not malignant and cancerous. So she was like, we found, I think it was either 2 or 3, or 3 or 4, but I know 3 was involved. And they said, we need to make sure that you can pass gas, because during the procedure, I mean, you have a tube going literally up your behind, and if gas is trapped inside your body, that's going to be very problematic. So it goes from an embarrassing thing of, oh, I have to fart in front of these people, to, okay, this is serious. Like, we need to make sure that all of the gas is passed through your body before we release you. So all of a sudden, it's not ha-ha anymore. It's like, okay, this isn't even embarrassing anymore, because it's something that has to be done. So they call my husband back, because he's in the waiting room with the other patients and the drivers of those patients. So they called him back. I remember passing gas in front of him as I was talking to him, whatever at this point, because it's like I'll just have to explain it to him in the car. So we get past that and everything's fine. They determine, all the gas is gone or whatever. And that's it. So they say, we'll be in touch to let you know, the results after we test the polyps. So I remember we immediately went out to eat. We went to Denny's because there was a Denny's in the time in my neighborhood. Had the biggest breakfast like ever because I hadn't eaten in like a day and a half, whatever. So ate this breakfast, came home, took a nap. I slept for like 4 to 5 hours. It was literally the best nap that I've ever had to date. Okay, so that is time number 1. Oh, and then they did contact me back. The polyps were benign. Woohoo! So we're done with that. Everything's fine. And now, they contacted me. I think it might have been after my mammogram, because you know how when you go for one appointment, they're like, oh, do you want to set up such and such? Oh, we see you're due for such and such, whatever. So we finally set up appointment number 2. So this is colonoscopy number 2. So it was, as I said, on Monday, which means the prep has to start on Sunday, I'm sorry. But it's not just the one day of, oh, I can't eat anything except liquid diet. The prep really needs to start like a couple of days before the appointment. Okay, so this time, I've got this handy guide. I don't remember having this the first time, but this guide is super detailed. It starts breaking down like 3 days before the procedure, what you should and shouldn't be doing, which I did not pay attention to. So I'm going to let you know the mistake that your girl made. Okay, so this tells you the bowel cleansing prep right here. These are the 3 things that you need. As I said, it is the 8.3 ounce bottle of Miralax, which is standard size, 64 ounces of Gatorade, and it says no red or purple. And then the 1 small box of Dulcolax, and this is the 5 milligrams, and this is the appropriate size that you need. So you have to have a clear liquid diet the day before the procedure, which is part of the preparatory phase. So it explains what a clear liquid diet is. It says avoid anything, and they tell you this over and over again, so it really is important. Avoid anything red or purple in color, as it can look like blood during the procedure. You can have tea and coffee, but you cannot use dairy or non-dairy creamer. So basically you're gonna have your coffee with just sugar, or you can use an artificial sweetener. Clear non-pulp juices such as apple or white grape juice. So I chose apple juice. You can have powdered lemonade. You can have water / vitamin enhanced water. Once again, it cannot be red or purple. They are beating this into your head. You bet not drink anything red or purple. You can have carbonated beverages, thank God. So this was part of what I had. And once again, I was sticking with a light colored beverage. So this is Diet 7-Up. I wasn't even really looking for diet. I just grabbed it. It just so happened to be diet. So that's what we went with. I like diet sodas anyway. I know they're bad for you, but it is what it is. You can have sports drinks. Once again, what color, y'all? Can't be red or purple. You can have popsicles, but without milk or added fruit. You can have Jell-O, But once again, what color can it not be? Yep, you guessed it. Red or purple. No red or purple Jell-O. You can have chicken broth, which is what I bought. Store brand chicken broth. You can have coconut water, and you can have honey/sugar. Okay, so now it's giving you the standard bowel prep same day instructions. It says, if you take the following medications, you must hold. Now, this is if you are taking additional medications. I am on nothing, so I could ignore this page. But if you're taking Ozempic, Wegovy, you know, different semi-glutides, you know, things like that, you have to stop those way ahead of time. Okay, so 7 days prior to the procedure, this is the instruction for diabetic patients. Once again, I'm not diabetic. 3 days before the procedure, which is what your girl should have been looking at and was not. I don't eat popcorn like that. I can go weeks, I can go a month or 2 months without eating popcorn. Why did I want to eat popcorn? It wasn't like a lot, but still, I was like, oh my God. 3 days prior, stop eating any raw vegetables or vegetables containing seeds, corn, popcorn, nuts, and seeds. In addition, stop taking any fiber supplements until after the procedure. It was like 3 days before, I think, when I had the popcorn, and I was just like, oh my God, really? Okay, 2 days prior, it says, continue on a low fiber diet and remember to avoid foods with nuts and seeds. So 1 day prior to the procedure, this is where you got to be on it and do what you need to do. No solid foods, clear liquids only upon rising until after your procedure. A clear liquid diet is necessary for colonoscopy. So I started at, you start the clear liquids at 3, but the actual prep starts at 1. So they give you a list of questions here, common questions, like what is a clear stool? Some questions about like, why am I doing this type stuff? If the prep is making you nauseous, what should you do? What high fiber foods should you avoid? Once again, raw fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grain breads, beans, lentils. They give you options for low fiber foods, white bread, white rice, pasta, because 2 days before I ended up having, it was fried fish. So I kind of picked around most of the outer part of the fish. I still had a little bit of the fry, but I picked around it. I made myself some white rice as a side. There was bread that came with the fish, so I had that. So that was what I had for dinner 2 days before the procedure, knowing that I needed to be on the low fiber diet. You cannot drink alcohol as part of the liquid diet. I cannot believe that was a question, but it was on the sheet. Let's see. And okay, so this was the Bible of the day before. All of this is what you need to follow. So starting at 1 p.m., so as soon as I came home from church, I prepared the prep. So I got this and I used 2 of these. So it says pour 56 ounces of Gatorade into the pitcher and chill in the refrigerator. And then it said to mix the bottle of Miralax with it and then put it in the refrigerator. Why they had to split up into 2 separate things, I don't know, because I ended up taking the pitcher out the refrigerator to then mix the Miralax, to turn around and put it in the refrigerator. I was like, this could have been 1 step. At 3 p.m. was when I took 2 of these. So this was the beginning of cleansing the colon. So I really didn't need to go to the bathroom until it was almost time for the actual drinking of the prep. So 3 p.m. took 2 of these with a glass of water. 6 p.m. the evening prior to the procedure, you need to drink an 8-ounce glass of the prep solution, which is the Miralax mixed with this. And you do this every 15 to 30 minutes until you have finished drinking half of the mixture. So you ended up drinking 4 of these. So I did my 4. I pushed myself, and every 15 minutes I had my phone on alarm set where I would drink a whole glass of water. So I started at 6, 6:15 another glass, 6:30 another glass, 6:45 another glass. And yes, you are going to the bathroom after you drink all that. So then at 9 o'clock, you take 2 more of these with a full glass of water. 10 p.m., we're back to drinking the 4 glasses of the prep. So now you are finishing the other half of the pitcher. So you're starting again. So I had the clock set on the phone. 10 p.m., glass of water. 10:15, glass of prep. 10:15, glass of prep. 10:30, glass of prep. 10:45, glass of prep. So I was done drinking my prep at 11 o'clock, because it takes a while to get through all that. So by this time, of course, we are clean, we are squeaky, our poo is like water at this point. Really, by the time we got to this second time around, by this time you are really cleaned out. Everything is just watery. It is what it is. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And by the time you're done drinking all this, you are glad to see watery poo. Okay, so we do that. So I was done drinking everything by 11 p.m. Yes, I'm still going to the bathroom here and there after that. So I think it was around midnight when I finally laid down and felt like, okay, I feel like I don't have to get up anymore and go to the bathroom. I might have done it around midnight, and then after that, I was finally done. So my procedure was not until 2 p.m. the next day, on Monday. You need to be at the office 45 minutes ahead of schedule. Why they ask you that, I don't know, because I did not get in the office, in the actual back where they started working on me, until 3 p.m. So yes, I went all day long with nothing in my system, because on the day of your procedure, you can't even drink water. You're not supposed to have anything. You can brush your teeth, but you cannot swallow anything. So, because you know how you brush your teeth sometimes, or you use your your mouthwash, you might end up swallowing a little bit. Oh no, I made sure I rinsed my mouth out with water like 5 to 6 times to make sure there was no residue of anything that I was going to be swallowing. So, what else? Okay, so it says in the additional information, 4 hours before procedure, nothing by mouth, nothing to eat, nothing to drink, no gum, no hard candy. You may brush your teeth, but do not swallow. So now I'm at the doctor's office. I'm checked in. I'm waiting. There's like 5 billion people getting this procedure done. I guess because it was later in the day, the office was just packed. So as I said, by the time we got to the back, I went to the bathroom before the procedure just to pee, and they asked me the usual standard questions about, are you taking anything, da-da-da-da-da. By the time I finally made it into the back, they had already done the IV. I was in the robe. They ended up wheeling me. Now, the way they did it the second time was totally different. Now, I did hear the doctor's office had changed management, so I guess they're doing things different. I was in like one of these back areas. It's like the open area, but it's separated by the curtain. And that's where they asked me all the questions. They made me, disrobe, put the robe on. They did the IV. I was already in the hospital bed then. And then once they did the IV, then they wheeled me like down the hall and around in the hospital bed. I was like, wow, this is different. And then they wheel you into the office where the procedure is going to be. So you meet the anesthesiologist, you meet the doctor's assistant, then the doctor comes in, they ask you the same questions. They're going to verify who you are, because they had to ask me that at least 8 times to verify my name, my date of birth, and what procedure I was in the office for. So, and I remember looking at the clock then when the doctor came in, and it was 3 o'clock, and I'm like, I've been here since 1:15. So anyway, this time, the anesthesiologist said, it was the same procedure where they stick the little oxygen thing, they hook it around your ears and stick it in your nose. This time he said, we're going to get ready to administer the propofol, and I'm going to give you a numbing agent first, because he said some people experience a slight burning sensation once we administer the propofol. And I was like, wow, I wish that I had that the first time. So the numbing agent didn't even feel anything, I guess, because it was numbing. And it worked, because when they administered, they tell you, it's like, okay, we're getting ready to administer the propofol. Felt nothing. They didn't even do a count this time or anything. I remember him saying he was administering it. I said, oh, okay. I remember kind of blinking a couple of times. That was all I remember. I wake up, the procedure's over. My husband is already in. No, he was walking in when I opened my eyes. This time they said nothing about we need to make sure you fart before you leave. There was nothing about gas. I don't know if they've done things differently in the past several years from the first time, but there was none of that. The doctor came in. She said, we found no polyps. So I was free and clear. So I was like, thank you, Lord. And they said, of course, we're going to check in a couple of days, which they did the last time, to make sure, you're okay. There were no effects of, the anesthesia or whatever. And that was it. So this time I was not quite as tired. And I guess it was because the appointment was later. I was able to sleep in a little bit more. So I remember coming home. My husband went back out to get me some McDonald's. Of course, we're just eating whatever we can eat now because I'm starving. And I ate that. I didn't even take a nap. Because by this time, it's like, oh God, what time? It might have been like 4. Because the procedure only takes, combined with them putting you under and the actual procedure, it's like 30 to 35 minutes. Because I remember hearing them tell somebody in the lobby that the anesthesia part, I think, is like 10 minutes, and the procedure was like 20 minutes, something like that. So it's pretty quick. So everything went really smoothly, and I wanted to wait until I had talked to the doctor the second time, because the doctor's office called yesterday while I was at work, and they were like, hey, we just wanted to check in. Are you doing okay? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, that's all we need to know. Goodbye. And that was it. So there was no more, hey, we found something or whatever. So I wanted to wait until I was free and clear to come on and do this video and let you guys know it is not as scary as you think it is. Once again, the prep is worse than the procedure, and it's just the whole drinking all the stuff and pooping. It has to be done. It is what it is. But the procedure goes by like that. Yeah. So get checked. There is nothing to be scared of. I'm the biggest baby, and if I have done it twice and I am talking to you today about it, go ahead, get it done. Um, Even start off with the box, the Cologuard. You know, I am not sponsored by any of these people, but do the box. At least start the prep work of it. You know, I was talking to somebody recently. She was like, "Oh, I'm scared to do the colonoscopy." And we asked her, "Well, have you done the box kit yet?" And she was like, "No." And it's like, okay, start with that. At least it's a start. But yeah, there is nothing to be afraid of. So if you are at the point in your life where you are at that age where you need to start getting your colonoscopy, or you have cancer that runs in your family, you need to go get checked. Make an appointment. You will not be sorry. So that is it. I am done with my PSA. I'm stepping down off my soapbox. If you have any questions at all, personal, whatever, comment below and let me know. And if it's something too personal, you don't want to put it out there for YouTube to see it, hit me up. You guys know where I'm at on YouTube. It's at pjacksone. And just, or shoot me an email. You can go on my Instagram, hit the email button where you can contact me directly, and just shoot me, you know, an email. And if you have any specific down and dirty questions about anything. But that's it. Thanks so much. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.